What is going on, guys? It's Dan, aka Captain Redbeard, and today we are breaking down some new Call of Duty Black Ops 4 information for you guys. We're going over the specialists and their abilities and their equipment. For those of you that are not aware, we've got some returning specialists to Black Ops 4 and some new characters and abilities, which I would love to look over with you guys and kind of break down exactly what each character does. For those of you that don't know, though, Black Ops 4 is a prequel to Call of Duty Black Ops 3, and that's why we do see some returning characters. Essentially, they are filling in the gaps of what's leading up to the events of Black Ops 3 with like the characters and their designs and their abilities and stuff. So it's essentially earlier renditions of what you experience in Black Ops 3. So to get started, though, we've got Battery. Battery's making a comeback. She's like the quote-unquote hottie of Black Ops 3, I think, personally. She's probably my favorite in terms of character design. I think she looks cool, and she looks like a certified badass in Black Ops 4. Of course, she's got her war machines coming back. Very self-explanatory. For those of you that don't know, though, it's a grenade launcher. It fires bouncing grenades, which detonate after a short time or by hitting an enemy directly. So essentially, you shoot. If it doesn't direct impact, it bounces on the ground, splits up into multiple grenades, explodes. Potential large radius of damage there. Then we've got a new equipment coming into her character, which in Black Ops 3 it was a shield, like a body shield, kinetic armor. In this game, it's going to be a cluster, is her equipment in this game, and it's a grenade. It sticks to surfaces, and when it explodes, it releases like 3 or 4 grenades, and they have a pretty good blast radius on them too. Then we've got Ruin coming back. So pretty much with his gravity spikes in Black Ops 3, same concept in Black Ops 4. It's more of like a post, and slams it down into the ground, and it creates that devastating blast surrounding him. He's got a grapple gun, which you guys seen in my last gameplay video discussing my thoughts on Black Ops 4. If you guys haven't seen that, it's in the COD playlist that I've created. We've got Firebreak coming back. New Purifiers coming back. I'm not really sure how I feel about it, if I'm being honest with you. I don't like the damage ticker. With Black Ops 3, somebody gets that Purifier flame on them, they're pretty much dead. With Black Ops 4, it's actually there's a damage ticker, kind of like they did in World War II with like Molotovs and stuff. I'm not a big fan of it personally. I think you're on fire, you're dead. That's just my opinion, though. That's one player. I don't know how you guys feel about that. If you guys, have any thoughts or opinions on that, you guys can share that in the comment section. But we've got a new piece of equipment coming. Instead of that radius blast ability that he had in Black Ops 3, we've got the reactor core. It essentially works the same way, except it lasts longer. You can walk around and you can actually charge it long enough that you can't kill enemies in the vicinity through walls, or just run right at them, because you do get somewhat of a shield whenever you activate that, which I think that's a really cool ability. We've got Seraph coming back. Seraph is Bay. She's coming back in with her Annihilator, high caliber revolver that fires devastating rounds with increased bullet penetration. So that's a really cool weapon. Essentially, it's a one-shot kill. So that's making a comeback. Then we've got a new piece of equipment, which is Tac Deploy. Tac Deploy for me is very interesting because I don't really see a benefit for it in games like game modes like Kill Confirmed, or even Team Deathmatch, where you can kind of get spawn trapped essentially, because it's basically like a Battlefield spawn beacon. Essentially is how it works. You don't spawn right on it, but you spawn in that vicinity. But for game modes such as Control or Domination or Hardpoint, even with the janky spawn points system or spawn location system on those two game modes that I mentioned, Domination and Hardpoint, this Tac Deploy could actually be really beneficial to a very team-oriented group of people playing that are playing to win. So, I think Seraph actually has a lot of potential to be a good character for people in Black Ops 4, especially if you're tactical. Coming back, we got Nomad. So the website that I'm using is called PCGamesIn.com. So this article that I'm reading is from 61 days ago at this time of this recording. So it's before the beta, but we know, I don't remember what the ability's called, but I will say equipment. It's essentially the that little like slingshot thing, and it shoots the little sticky mines. So that's coming in instead of Hive Launcher. And then his ability was to call in the dog. So basically the dogs from World at War or COD Ghost, that's his ability. According to this website, it's like saying it's unknown. Of course, this was before the beta, but now we know it's to call the dog in, the dogs. So pretty cool concept. I like the fact that they still kind of kept the launcher concept without going full-blown like nanotechnology, because in terms of the timeline of this game, it doesn't really exist yet. So I think that's pretty cool. We've got Prophet coming back. Those of you that didn't play the beta or watch any gameplay on it, he's got like a little robot, and it wheels around and it shocks people. It shocks people and like stuns them. So you can, if you're following that robot, or if your teammates following that robot, it can actually take down that enemy player. So that's his equipment. And then ability, he's got his essentially a Tempest, like an early model Tempest. It works kind of like a sniper rifle. And what's interesting about the Black Ops 4 take on it's not a one-shot kill. However, it will down the enemy player when you shoot them, and whenever they are downed, they can have the opportunity to crawl and get away and recover and get back up. Now, this is the thing about it, though, that I find very interesting, is if they are shot and they crawl and get near a teammate, that electrical charge it'll discharge off of the down player and shock and knock down their teammate, which is pretty cool. So essentially, if you're playing as Tempest, you can actually chain down a group of enemy players. So if you're playing a game mode like Control, or you're playing Search and Destroy or Domination, where there's a large group of people hovering an objective, you can actually have an opportunity to knock a group of these people down. So that's just a new little cool take on Tempest, and I think it's really cool. I played with him in the beta a little bit, thought it was really interesting. So we've got those are the ones that are making a comeback. We've got Ajax. He's a new guy. He's got a ballistic shield. So honest opinion, I wasn't a big fan of the concept. However, for tactical gameplay, I think it's an awesome ability, because let's just be realistic. In modern combat, you've got guys with riot shields. You got game modes like Rainbow Six Siege, where the riot shields are providing a lot more cover. So the ballistic shield I have good positive feelings about. I don't have any complaints about it. And what's really cool about it is it's actually got a slot where Ajax can pop through like his pistol and shoot out of it, which is pretty cool. So if you're trying to push an objective, you can shoot people through while you've got a teammate falling behind you. However, you can be shot through that same hole. So if you're attacking or going opposing Ajax, that's kind of a best practice tactic there with his ballistic shield. And then his equipment is the 9-bang flashbang, which is pretty awesome. And the way flashing works in this game, you're full-blown stunned, which I think is really nice about this game. Your character actually will throw their arms up. The gun will go kind of sway. You can't actually really aim, and you can't run. You can't run like earlier Call of Duty games, where if you get flashed and you kind of have a good feel of where you're at before you get flashed, where you can turn and kind of run the opposite direction. You can't do that in Black Ops 4, which I think is great that they're going with that approach. It balances it out in that sense. Other new characters coming back or coming into the game, we've got Torque. Torque is a really interesting character in my opinion. He's got a barricade as an ability. which essentially is putting I think it's called a microwave barricade is the technical name for it in Black Ops 4. So it essentially radiates like a microwave frequency of damage off of the front of it, kind of like a Guardian from Black Ops 4, which is pretty cool. I've used it. I think it's a great tactic, especially for objective-based game modes. If you're trying to hold down a position in domination and you guys are down by several points, your team can barricade up behind that and really like work people into that kind of as a trap. They get stuck in that microwave damage. They can't move very fast, and then you've got an opportunity because there's like a little peephole. You shoot them through that. His equipment is razor wire. Which is pretty awesome. I like the concept of that because if you are, say, holding down a position, there's a doorway behind you. You can place that down in that doorway. Your teammate can come through it, but the enemy players, they get slowed down, and it does damage over time, which I think is a really unique way to implement razor wire. It's not just like a wall you run into and that's it. So it actually does damage over time. So, guys, it's quite a long list of characters, specialists, which I think is, oh, I'm sorry, guys. I failed to mention Crash. I'm sorry. So, Crash is going to be our last character coming in. I think he's a good character for specific game modes. So, Crash is his ability is TAC 5. Heals, boosts max health, and removes wounds for the user and up to 4 targeted allies. So this guy is going to be very good for objective-based game modes like Search and Destroy, Control. I believe we can use his ability in the new game mode Heist, which I'm going to make another video discussing Heist. Also, his equipment is the Assault Pack, so you get ammo deployed, and you get a bonus score for killing enemies, and those bonuses are available to the entire team to pick up out of this bag. So the reason why I think he's a very good character for objective-based modes, though, is because you get into a game mode like Control, where after you die so many times, there is no respawning. So you get down to a 5v5 situation or a 4v5 or whatever, and you've got a Crash on the field and you get shot and you're in a tough situation. He can pop off that heal for you, so you have the potential to win that gunfight. Same thing with Search and Destroy. I've did that a few times over the beta weekend, both weekends, with teammates of playing Search and Destroy, things like that. So that's something I'll say about the specialists in this game. Every single one of them have a unique ability that can really change the tide of your Black Ops experience in a match, and I think that's something that has been really needed, because that's one thing I will say about Black Ops 3 is Black Ops 3 always felt with your specialists like you were just getting, like, they were the kill streaks, if that makes sense, or the kill score streaks. Now with Black Ops 4, again, it's a very objective-based game. They are kind of taking a Rainbow Six Siege approach, Overwatch, whatever you want to call it, with these specialists, and I think it's great. I think this is something Call of Duty's needed for a long time. You know, the game needs a lot of balancing and working out, but we've never seen anything like this from Treyarch. So I think now with these specialists, we actually see a purpose in their abilities other than just racking up kills. And I think that's something that this franchise has really missed. I really think it's something this franchise has needed, and we've all been waiting on this, whether we realize it or not. So I think it's a great thing. And if you guys want to actually pull this list up that I was reading off of, it's at a website called PCGamesIn.com. So, and you guys can just search Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Specialist on the website, and it'll give you the full breakdown of each of them. But, you know, I think that all of these specialists and abilities are going to be great for, again, different modes, I don't know. Who knows what this could do for the competitive scene, because it's really going to be about balancing and communicating now. And again, working together as a team. Even if you're playing team deathmatch, I noticed with different specialists. I noticed that games where I just kind of ran around and did what I want, I got pretty trampled pretty quickly. But in matches where I used my microphone and I communicated with my teammates, whether I knew them or they were randoms, it really helped balance my experience out. So just a few things to consider there. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing for this franchise that they're doing this. I just think that we are now having to relearn how to play COD. So that's kind of my input. Hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown and breakdown of each of these specialists. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.